Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and hearing heavy knocking sounds coming from inside your bedroom wall. Not outside, not from the neighbors, inside the wall. At first, you tell yourself it's probably the pipes, the wind, your imagination. But then the knocking starts moving through the house, room to room, following you. And before long, your furniture begins moving by itself. Your children start screaming in the middle of the night, and an 11-year-old girl begins speaking with the voice of a dead man, a voice that claims it once lived in your house. This sounds like the plot of a horror movie, but according to dozens of witnesses, it really happened. This is the story of the Enfield Poltergeist, one of the most famous and most controversial hauntings in history. The year was 1977. The place was Enfield, North London. At 284 Green Street lived Peggy Hodgson, a hard-working single mother raising 4 children. Life wasn't easy. Money was often tight. The family lived in a modest council house, just like thousands of others across Britain. Nothing about the house seemed unusual. There was no dark history, no stories of murder, no rumors of hauntings. It was simply home. The children went to school. Peggy worked hard to support the family. Life moved on normally. Until August 30th, 1977, a night the family would never forget. Late that evening, Janet Hodgson and her sister Margaret were getting ready for bed. Suddenly, Janet noticed something strange. Her bed began to shake. At first, she thought her sister was playing a prank, but nobody was touching it. The movement became stronger. Janet panicked. She ran to her mother. Peggy checked the room herself. That's when she heard it, knocking, 3 sharp knocks, coming from inside the wall. Then another and another. The sounds moved through the house. No matter where the family searched, they couldn't find the source. The noise continued night after night, and soon things became much worse. Within days, objects began moving on their own. Chairs slid across rooms, toys were thrown unexpectedly, furniture shifted positions. Loud crashes echoed through the house when nobody was nearby. The family became terrified. Neighbors soon started noticing unusual events too. Some reported hearing strange banging sounds. Others claimed they saw objects moving through windows. Fear spread quickly. Nobody understood what was happening. The house seemed alive, and whatever force was responsible appeared to be growing stronger. As the activity increased, one thing became clear. Most of the strange events happened around Janet. The 11-year-old girl appeared to be the focus. Witnesses claimed she was thrown from her bed. Others said she levitated. Several famous photographs appeared to show Janet suspended in midair. To believers, these photos were proof. To skeptics, they showed a child jumping from her bed. The debate continues to this day, but everyone agreed on one thing. Something strange was happening. And then came the most disturbing part of the entire case. One night, Janet's voice changed completely. The voice of a young girl disappeared. In its place emerged a deep, rough, elderly male voice, a voice that sounded impossible. The voice introduced itself as Bill Wilkins. It claimed to be the spirit of a man who had once lived in the house. According to witnesses, the voice said, "My name is Bill Wilkins. I lived here. I died in this house." Investigators later discovered that a man named Bill Wilkins had indeed lived there years earlier. The voice was recorded repeatedly. Doctors, journalists, police officers, and researchers all heard it. Many were unable to explain how an 11-year-old girl could produce such sounds for extended periods. Yet skeptics insisted she was faking it. The mystery only deepened. Eventually, the family contacted the police. Officers arrived expecting nothing more than a frightened family and perhaps an overactive imagination. Instead, one officer later reported seeing a chair move across the floor on its own. No one touched it, no strings were visible, no explanation was found. This single report became one of the most discussed pieces of evidence in the case, because now the witnesses weren't just family members, they were police officers, and the story was beginning to attract national attention. Soon, renowned paranormal investigators Maurice Grosse and Guy Lyon Playfair arrived. Unlike many visitors, they stayed for months. They documented everything: interviews, photographs, audio recordings, witness statements. Night after night, they collected more than 200 hours of recordings. Some captured strange knocking sounds. Others recorded the mysterious voice. The investigators became convinced that the case involved genuine paranormal activity, but not everyone agreed. As media attention exploded, skeptics began examining the evidence. Then something unexpected happened. Janet was caught faking certain incidents. This revelation changed everything. Critics immediately argued that the entire case was a hoax. Believers responded by saying that a child seeking attention might fake some events while genuine, unexplained phenomena were still occurring. The debate divided experts, and it remains divided today. More than 40 years later, nobody agrees on what truly happened inside that house. After nearly 2 years of disturbances, the activity slowly faded. The knocking stopped. The furniture stopped moving. The voices disappeared. Life gradually returned to normal. The Hodgson family remained in the house, but the mystery never left. The story spread around the world. Books were written, television specials aired, researchers continued investigating, and decades later, the case inspired the blockbuster horror film, The Conjuring 2. Today, the Enfield Poltergeist remains one of the most famous paranormal cases ever documented. Some people believe it was undeniable proof of the supernatural. Others believe it was an elaborate hoax fueled by media attention. and some think the truth lies somewhere in between. Perhaps some events were staged, perhaps others were genuine. Perhaps we'll never know, because the greatest mystery isn't what happened inside that house. The greatest mystery is why, after nearly 50 years, people are still arguing about it, still investigating it, still listening to those recordings, and still wondering whether something truly haunted that home. So, what do you think? Was the Enfield Poltergeist a real haunting, a clever hoax, or something far stranger than either explanation? Let me know your theory in the comments below. And if you enjoy real horror mysteries, subscribe to USA Real Horror Mysteries for more chilling stories based on real events. Until next time, keep the lights on, and if you hear knocking coming from inside your walls tonight, try not to answer.